Now the head portion of this kit is not something to talk about. There's only 3 parts here, but there's a couple of decals that we need to put on. So first up is this the head, one of the head visors. Come on, there we go. That seems fairly simple right there. Then the rear visor. There you go. Now the front face mask could easily be painted. You know, it's probably a good coating and then panel lining, but obviously I'm just going to do this. I just need to see the orientation in this. Yeah, that's correct. There we go. It's alright, I guess. And so all we need to do is let's take this, put it right here, put the back part here. There's no polycaps here. It has a plastic part here that will hold on to polycaps. And then this guy, which I'm going to lightly remove, clean off a little bit of the blue. I can then put them on like so. Alright. I think that's alright. Let's move on to the next part. Okay, so the next part we're going to work on is the arms. And for this, you see here all the parts that's needed to make this kit. Now, first up, I want to make sure, I gotta stress this to you guys, don't lose these 3 little parts. These are very, very important because it makes up the design feature of the Genoace kit. First thing you want to do is you will need this polycap and put it in between here. You can't go wrong with putting this part together because its seam lines is conform to the part, as you can see there. Now, according to the instructions, and I'm going to show you this part right here up close. These are the shoulder thrusters. This part here, as you can see, there's a little notch that faces up like that. It has to be in this position so you can stick them right there. So they're in an angle like that. You gotta be careful what you do. So I'm gonna slide that in there. Come on. There she goes. Now these 2 are different. I mean, these 2 are the same, but the one that goes to the side is different. It has a double notch like that, like an end notch. It has to be facing downwards, so that way it could be like this in this position. So that part is done. Now there's a couple more parts I'm going to need. I'm going to need this one and this one right here, followed by this part. So you take 1 minute. Alright. So you take this part here, slide it to the side through that notch there. And this guy, with this part facing downwards, slide it in like so. And then I think it has to go like that. Yeah, that's right. So it goes like this. Now you would think you have to seal this up, but the remaining arm, you take these two parts here. You got the smaller polycap here, which is number polycap 11. Seal it like that. And then this part, I think it has to go like that. Like so. Then close it up to finish this part. Finally, you take this charcoal trim here, you put it up, put it on this part, and you slide this right here. Since this is the left arm, it has to be in this position. And I guess the last two parts is the hands. Well, we got the closed hand here. Then we have the open hand, which is so you guys want to know, it's almost identical to the open hand of the HG kit. And I put this one here, and that completes the arm of the Genoace. Let's move on to the next step. So next up, it is the legs of the Genoace mobile suit. And one thing I'm now noticing that just Genoace has is some unique leg features. I'll get to that in a minute. Let me just do the actual hip joint. To my surprise, this hip joint is slightly more detailed than I realized, and more articulated, especially at a high grade scale. Now this guy right here is unique. Take this part, put it there, like so. This is a bit tricky. You slide this part through here. And I had to be very careful with this. I have to make sure I was doing this right. Then taking this part, putting this part over here, and again, and the instructions has to be like this, and then seal the deal with the remaining part. Like that. And you put this part over it like so. Now we have the leg unit, which will require this polycap right over here. I'm really liking these little thin polycaps. These are pretty nice. These square or rectangular polycaps. So you close them up like that, and then you put the front part like so. Again, you know what? I know someone's gonna probably be a pain in the ass, but I did check to make sure that they're not, different from the other. They're both the same. Kind of like with the mistake that I did with the HG. So this part goes over here, like that. And, oh, almost forgot. Now the foot. We take the ball joint like that, facing up, and then pushing this down over here, like so. And then we have this polycap here. Actually, not a polycap, it's one of the joints that will pivot the foot like that. I kind of like that. And then finally, you put this part over here. You put this part over here, like so. And then this one like that. And there you have it. Very flexible, very posable legs. The one thing that I wanted to note is the fact that these legs, the way how the structure looks, reminds me of the leg structure of the of the Ashtray kits from the Seed series. More like in the red Astray or the blue, but this is kind of okay. All right, let's move on to the next part. Now we're going to move on to the waist unit of the Genoace, and very few parts here as I'm reviewing the manual. Give me a second here. Okay, so we'll take the two side polycaps. It goes here and here. Then we'll close them up like this. Not that difficult to do. Then we'll take the white trim part. Come on. Goes right there. One solid piece for the connection of the two legs. So I'm kind of glad that they did something like that. It's nice and solid and strong. I have a black trim part here. Make sure that's right. Yep, that's right. And then to the side skirt armor. Interestingly enough, no front skirt armor. Okay, that's kind of cool. So that part is done. I might as well segue into the next portion of this build, and that is the weapons and the equipment. The beam rifle is not that hard to put together. All you have to do is slap them like that, and then the front nozzle, which of course we will need the only remaining green polycap. Hold on a second here. There we go. It's a simple gun. I have to say, it is the it is a far better looking beam rifle than that of the beam spray that's on the GM, on the original GM, not the more advanced version. But I kind of like this. It's simple. It's not too complicated. Trying to understand this portion of it. I don't know if it's considered a laser sight or some sort of sight of some sort for the mobile suit to fire. Even though I guess in that we watched about 5 episodes and we haven't seen a direct hit of this gun yet, except for Gundam using it against the Garfan. But yeah, this is kind of cool. Then we have the shield. Another basic design of the shield. Pretty interesting. Now this is the one thing that really threw me off. Where is it? There she is. This hilt and this, when you put it on, it makes this into a baton. I've never seen a baton weapon before. That's new to me. And then you slide it in here for easy storage. So these three are done. Let's move on to the final build of this kit.